Once upon a time, in a bustling city known for its great minds and prestigious schools, there was a boy named Kiran. He was young, barely 16, yet his eyes carried a light that few could miss, the kind of light that burns in someone who hungers for knowledge, not for fame. This is no ordinary tale. This is a story of courage, humility, and truth. The boy who dared to correct the professor. Dear viewers, I humbly request you to watch or listen till the end to discover the powerful lesson behind this tale. If you're watching or listening for the first time, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon now, so you won't miss the notifications of my daily published news stories. Thank you. Now, let's dive into the full story. Kiran was born in a humble household. His father worked as a potter, shaping clay pots with his hands, while his mother sold herbs in the market. They could not afford much, but they gave Kiran the greatest gift, an unshakable belief that knowledge, when shared with humility, could move mountains. Now, in this same city lived a professor of mathematics, known across the land as the most brilliant mind of his generation. His name was Professor Dawan. He was feared and respected, his lectures filling the grand halls of the university, with hundreds of eager students. To sit in his classroom was considered an honor, and to speak against him was unthinkable. One day, Kiran was granted a rare chance. Through a scholarship, he was allowed to sit among the older university students in Professor Dawan's lecture hall. The boy's heart raced as he walked through the heavy wooden doors, clutching a simple notebook and a pencil that was sharpened down almost to its last inch. The professor entered with grandeur, chalk in hand, ready to inscribe his wisdom on the blackboard. He began to write a complex equation, one that wove together algebra, geometry, and the elegance of numbers. The hall grew silent. Every student bent forward, afraid to miss a single symbol. But as Kiran's eyes followed the chalk lines, something stirred in him. The professor had written a formula, but it was wrong. It's just a tiny mistake, a misplaced sign, but enough to make the entire equation collapse. Kiran blinked. Could it be true? Could the great Professor Dawan, the man praised in books, be wrong? He hesitated. His heart pounded like a drum. What if he spoke up and was laughed out of the hall? What if the professor scolded him, or worse, expelled him from this golden opportunity? Yet, in the back of his mind, Kiran heard his mother's words, "Truth does not bow to fear. If you see the light, share it, even if your voice shakes." So, with trembling hands, the boy raised his arm. The hall froze. Dozens of eyes turned toward him. Whispers spread like wildfire. A child, correcting the professor. Professor Dawan narrowed his gaze. "Yes, boy, what is it?" Kiran swallowed hard and spoke softly. "Sir, forgive me, but the equation seems to carry a mistake. The negative sign should be positive, or the entire balance of the problem will collapse." The room went silent. Then, a wave of laughter broke out among the older students. Some slapped their knees, others shook their heads. Imagine a village boy correcting the master of mathematics. But Kiran did not waver. His eyes remained fixed on the professor, calm but firm. Professor Dawan stared at the board. Slowly, he retraced his steps. His chalk paused mid-air. His hand trembled. The laughter died down as realization spread. The boy was right. The professor had indeed made a mistake. Gasps echoed through the hall. The man who was thought infallible, the genius of numbers, had been corrected by a boy. For a long moment, silence weighed heavy. Then, the professor did something no one expected, and he smiled. "Class," he said, turning with eyes that glimmered not with pride but with humility, "today you have witnessed something greater than mathematics. This boy has reminded us that truth is not bound by age, status, or titles. Even the wisest can and even the youngest can teach." He turned to Kiran. "What is your name, child?" "Kiran, sir," the boy whispered. Professor Dawan placed his chalk down. "Then let it be remembered today, in this hall, the professor learned it from Kiran, and may it remind us all that knowledge belongs to those who seek it with courage, not those who guard it with pride." From that day forward, Kiran was no longer just a boy with a tattered notebook. He became a symbol of bravery and truth. His name whispered in the corridors of the university. The story of how he corrected the professor traveled far and wide, inspiring young and old alike. The tale doesn't end with Kiran correcting the professor. In the weeks that followed, Kiran faced challenges. Some students envied him. Others mocked him, saying his victory was just a stroke of luck. But Kiran kept studying, not to prove them wrong, but to honor the gift of learning. One evening, Professor Dawan called Kiran to his office. On his desk lay a stack of dusty old manuscripts, unsolved problems that had haunted scholars for decades. "Kiran," he said, "these are not just equations. They are doors waiting for the right mind to open them. I believe you may hold the keys." The boy's eyes widened. "But sir, I am just a student." The professor leaned forward. "And I am just a man who once thought himself too great to be corrected. Never let the world tell you you are just anything. You are what you dare to become." From that moment, Kiran's life took a new path. He solved problems others avoided, asked questions others feared, and carried with him a humility that kept his feet on the ground. Years later, he became not just a mathematician but a teacher who always told his students, "If you see a mistake in my work, correct me, for in truth, we all remain students, no matter how old we grow." So, dear listeners, remember this: courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to speak the truth despite it. Wisdom is not the absence of mistakes, but the willingness to admit them. And greatness is not in titles, but in humility. And if you ever doubt yourself, think of young Kiran, the boy who dared to correct the professor, and let his story remind you your voice matters, your light matters, your truth matters. Thank you for watching and listening to this inspirational tale. If you find it meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment about what lesson touched you most. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the daily stories we bring to uplift and inspire you. Until next time, stay curious, stay humble, and never be afraid to speak the truth.